Imagine you're floating in a spacesuit drifting toward a black hole. Nothing about the moment feels dangerous yet. No sound, no resistance, just empty space and a strange, perfect darkness ahead of you. But your body is about to be torn apart in a way nothing on Earth could ever prepare you for. And the strangest part isn't the ending. It's what happens right before it. Let's start with the basics. A black hole isn't a hole at all. It's an object so dense that its gravity bends space itself into a trap. Nothing that crosses a certain boundary, not light, not matter, not information, can ever come back out. That boundary is called the event horizon, and it's the point of no return. But here's the twist. As you approach that boundary, you won't feel anything special crossing it. There's no wall, no flash, no signpost. If the black hole is large enough, you could sail across the event horizon completely unaware that you've just left the observable universe forever. The real danger isn't the horizon. It's what's already happening to your body on the way there. Gravity doesn't pull evenly. The part of you closer to the black hole gets pulled harder than the part further away. Your feet, if you're falling feet first, experience dramatically stronger gravity than your head. This difference is called tidal force, and near a small black hole, it becomes lethal long before you reach the center. Physicists have a name for what happens next, and it's disturbingly literal. It's called spaghettification. Your body gets stretched longer and thinner, like dough being pulled at both ends. Your feet accelerate away from your head, faster and faster, while your entire body is simultaneously squeezed from the sides. You don't just fall into a black hole, you get pulled apart by it, one cell at a time. Now here's where it gets interesting, because the size of the black hole completely changes the experience. Near a small black hole formed from a collapsed star, spaghettification would kill you long before you ever reached the event horizon. The tidal forces there are extreme, strong enough to rip atoms apart within seconds, but supermassive black holes, the kind found at the centers of galaxies, behave completely differently. The one at the heart of our own galaxy, called Sagittarius A star, was directly imaged by the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration in 2022. Around a black hole that massive, the event horizon is so large that tidal forces near it are actually gentle. You could, in theory, cross the event horizon of a supermassive black hole without immediately feeling anything unusual at all. That doesn't mean you'd survive, it just means your death gets delayed and, in a way, gets stranger. Once you're inside the event horizon, physics itself starts behaving differently. Albert Einstein's theory of general relativity predicts that space and time essentially swap roles inside a black hole. Falling toward the center isn't a choice anymore. It becomes as unavoidable as tomorrow becoming today. Every possible direction you could move in points toward the singularity, the theoretical point of infinite density at the center. You're not falling through space anymore. You're falling through time. Meanwhile, something bizarre is happening to how outside observers would see you. As you approach the event horizon, time appears to slow down from their perspective. Your image would appear to freeze, redden, and fade, but never quite disappear. To someone watching from a safe distance, you never actually finish falling in. You just get dimmer and dimmer forever. But from your own perspective, none of that slowdown is happening. Your personal clock keeps ticking normally. You'd cross the horizon in what feels like an ordinary amount of time, completely unaware of the frozen image of yourself being left behind for the universe to watch. This mismatch between what you experience and what an outside observer sees isn't just strange, it created one of the biggest unsolved problems in physics, the black hole information paradox. Stephen Hawking spent decades wrestling with this puzzle. In 1974, he discovered that black holes aren't perfectly black after all. They slowly leak a faint form of radiation, now called Hawking radiation, and over unimaginably long timescales, they evaporate completely. The paradox is this: if a black hole eventually evaporates entirely, what happens to the information about everything and everyone that ever fell in? Physics insists information can never truly be destroyed. But Hawking's own equations suggested it might vanish forever, along with the black hole itself. Decades later, physicists still argue about whether your fall into a black hole erases you from the universe's history books, or whether some scrambled trace of you gets encoded into the radiation escaping outward. Some theoretical physicists have proposed an even stranger possibility, called the firewall hypothesis. Instead of a smooth, uneventful crossing, this idea suggests the event horizon might actually be a wall of extreme high-energy radiation, meaning you wouldn't gently fall through at all. You'd be incinerated the instant you touched it. Nobody knows for certain which version of reality is correct, because no signal, no probe, and no person could ever report back what actually happens. It's worth pausing on just how differently your body would fare depending on which black hole you happened to encounter. Fall toward a stellar mass black hole, one formed from a collapsing star only a few times heavier than our sun, and the math is almost merciful in its brutality. You'd be shredded within a fraction of a second, long before crossing any meaningful boundary. There would be no lingering, no drifting contemplation of your situation. Just an abrupt, total end. Fall towards something like Sagittarius A star or an even larger supermassive black hole, such as the one at the center of the galaxy M87, imaged by the Event Horizon Telescope in 2019. And the story changes entirely. Its event horizon spans millions of kilometers. The tidal forces there are so gentle that you could remain intact for hours or even days, drifting deeper and deeper, watching the sky around you warp and distort, with no external sign that anything catastrophic has happened yet. The ending is the same. Only the length of the journey toward it changes. And that's really the heart of why this question fascinates people so much. A black hole isn't just a strange astronomical object. It's the ultimate wall between what we can calculate and what we can ever confirm. Every model, every equation, every simulation is built on physics that has never once been tested by direct observation of the inside. We are reasoning about the one place in the universe that permanently refuses to explain itself. So if you ever did fall toward a black hole, the true horror wouldn't be a single dramatic moment. It would be the layers of it, the stretching, the vanishing, the slowing of time as the universe watches you fade from the outside, while you experience none of that delay at all. And finally, crossing into a region where the very language of space and time stops applying in any way we understand. You'd be floating in a spacesuit one moment, feeling nothing unusual at all, and somewhere between that calm and the center, you would become one of the only things in existence to ever truly leave the universe behind.